In a stunning turn of events, it is reported today that Ellen DeGeneres is abandoning the United Kingdom, fleeing back to Montecito and the company of her closest confidant, Meghan Markle. Markle, it should be noted, is currently embroiled in a fierce contest with Meghan and P. Diddy for the ignominious title of the most loathed celebrity in the world for the year 2025. The sentiment is clear. A curt farewell is in order, a stern warning not to slam the door on the way out, and an emphatic plea for neither Ellen nor Portia de Rossi to ever grace their shores again. The hypocrisy is infuriating, is it not? When these so-called Louis elites proclaim they are moving to the UK in a grand gesture against Donald Trump, only to pack their bags and retreat after a single winter. They are exposed as nothing more than pathetic virtue signalers, utterly unwanted. Ollie London allegedly peeled back the curtain on the affair, writing, "Ellen DeGeneres backtracks on staying in the UK while Trump is president after missing the warm weather and lifestyle in California, and how quickly her tune changed. She had previously declared her move an escape from Trump's presidency, insisting life in England was simply superior. A dramatic tale was spun of her waking on Election Day to a flood of distraught texts, her panicked query, 'He got in?' followed by the defiant vow, 'We're staying here.' Yet, according to whispers from the couple's inner circle, a very different plan is now afoot. It appears they are now plotting a more permanent return to California's Golden Coast. This bombshell report first broke in the Mail, where Caroline Graham detailed how the former talk show host and her wife Portia had initially cast Donald Trump as the villain in their transatlantic drama. But now, the Mail on Sunday has unearthed a startling revelation from within their camp. Miss DeGeneres has reportedly confided in friends that she and Miss de Rossi are orchestrating a return to sunny California, citing a deep longing for their friends and an absolute dread of facing another brutal British winter. A source revealed to the newspaper, Ellen was adamant that she and Portia were going to stay in the UK while Trump was in the White House, but evidently she's changed her mind somewhat. The source continued, "She's been telling friends they are coming home soon because they miss them and can't take the winters over there, and Portia wants to act again. They will be here for the holidays and longer by the sound of it." The couple, famously wed in 2008, had initially settled into the sprawling Kitesbridge farm in Swinbrook, Oxfordshire, but that 48-acre estate was suddenly placed on the market in July for a staggering $22.5 million. They then relocated to a lavish hilltop mansion with ample land for horses, a prerequisite for Miss de Rossi, who is a passionate rider. DeGeneres herself explained, "When we decided to live here full-time, we knew that Portia couldn't live without her horses, needed a home that had a horse facility and pastures for them. The home also offered plenty of space for their 2 puppies and their older dog." But the source was unequivocal, stating that Ellen made it very clear they were coming back to California sooner rather than later, as they sorely missed the warm weather and their social circle. The discussion then turns to a superstar panel featuring conservative commentator and YouTuber Based and Bougie, and Steph, the altar nerd, host of the Political Nerds podcast. Steph, a noted royal commentator, is prompted to frame this as a kind of reverse Megxit. Thus, a sharp contrast is drawn. While Harry and Meghan decamp to Montecito, it is rumored that Harry despises it and desperately wishes to return home, but is trapped, a pariah for a multitude of reasons. Ellen's move, however, was the opposite, a grand pronouncement of her intent to embrace the UK's wonderful socialist government, where life was promised to be so much greater. And yet, within months, she is seen skulking back from whence she came. The question hangs in the air. Does Britain truly need her kind of influence? The sentiment is echoed by Steph, who observes that just as Harry learned the hard lesson that the grass is not always greener, so too have Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi, in a moment of brutal honesty. And as far as the couple is concerned, they are advised to make sure the door closes firmly behind them on their return to California. One can almost picture Megxit, as they speak, already assembling a welcome hamper of her signature goodies, the spreads, a solitary flower, sprinkles, and other trifles to greet her friends with a triumphant, "Welcome back to Cali, guys." They truly, as the host notes, deserve one another. Indeed, they do. And another theory emerges for their hasty departure. These are individuals who could be described as full-blown narcissists. While in the UK, they were starved of the attention they crave. No one seemed to care one bit that they were even there. This is a universe away from California, where they are constantly watched and celebrated. There, they are praised and revered. But here in Britain, no one gives a damn that they are present, and it's speculated they couldn't stand it and now wish to return to their adoring public. The focus shifts to Based and Bougie, asking for her take on celebrities who engage in this sort of chicken-run maneuver when politics don't go their way. We have seen a parade of them lately, like Narinder Kaur threatening a move to India should Nigel Farage become Prime Minister, only to sheepishly retract it months later. The curious case here is that Ellen DeGeneres, for once, actually followed through with her dramatic exit, unlike on a previous occasion. But it is blindingly clear the move has not worked out for her. A clandestine dispatch was issued, a personal appeal directly from him, revealing the paramount method for supporting Dan Outspoken, a pledge of allegiance to his Substack at outspoken.live. This digital sanctuary, a bastion of free speech, is his sole protection from the looming threat of big tech's silencing decrees and the perilous snares of lawfare. For the inner circle, the paid annual or monthly loyalists, a clandestine reward is granted. An additional hour of unfiltered truths with the Royal Uncankled After Show, broadcast every weekday, entirely free from the influence of advertisers. It is also a platform where one can message him directly. That address again is www.outspoken.live. As the discussion resumes, the sentiment is that they are, in fact, just narcissists. The true reason for their retreat is that here in the UK, the culture of celebrity worship is effectively dead and buried, compared to the feverish adoration found in LA or Hollywood, where people practically prostrate themselves at the feet of celebrities. Britons simply do not care. A more provocative theory is then floated. Perhaps the real reason for their flight back to the USA was an unwelcoming neighbor, a hypothetical Muhammad who could not stand the sight of two lesbian women and chose to shout Sharia for UK from his balcony, a terrifying prospect that likely scared them back to the United States. They may have had a shocking realization that the UK is not the liberal utopia that Hollywood imagines it to be. The host agrees vehemently, positing that Ellen DeGeneres may have stumbled into the harsh reality of an Islamist takeover in progress. Not only do they dislike women and wish to confine them to the house, but for a lesbian woman, the proclaimed fate is far grimmer, with whispers of being pushed from the top of a building, a doctrine allegedly taught in some mosques. Perhaps she finally understood that the socialist Islamist hellscape of the United Kingdom under Keir is not all it's cracked up to be for two lesbian women. But back to Steph, the alt-nerd. There are an astonishing number of parallels between the public implosion of Ellen DeGeneres and that of Meghan Markle on both sides of the Atlantic. Are there not? These are women who have now been completely exposed, their true characters laid bare for all to see. They were accused of treating their staff with shocking cruelty, of bullying numerous people who came into their orbit. Their diva antics were so appalling that in Ellen's case, it allegedly included a decree that no one was to look at her if they passed her in a corridor. It feels as if that entire era of celebrity entitlement has finally come to an end. We now live in a world that demands the unvarnished truth, where authenticity is paramount. The problem for both Ellen DeGeneres and Meghan Markle is that they claim to be exceedingly nice people in public. It was all a performance of happy, joyful benevolence, as if they did everything for charity and for the world. But then the truth was revealed about what they were really like, how they truly treated their staff, their friends, and even their own family members. It is this dissonance that feels as though it has utterly destroyed their careers. In fact, a comeback for either Ellen DeGeneres or Meghan Markle seems almost inconceivable. So, in a strange twist, they will likely provide some measure of comfort to one another. For in Ellen's case, she can at least console herself with the fact that one of her neighbors is perceived to be even more hated than she is, a fact borne out by recent polling on the most reviled celebrities of 2025 so far. Currently, Ellen finds herself in third place. P. Diddy, who is presently behind bars, occupies the second position. But Meghan Markle, it is declared, remains firmly at number 1. A correction is offered, suggesting the order was recently swapped, with P. Diddy at 1 and Megxit at 2. But regardless, the race is perilously close. It is conceded that this may be correct, as the data was from a couple of weeks ago, and there is great anticipation to see who will ultimately seize the crown when the final end-of-year results are released. But for now, it is undeniably a three-horse race between these controversial figures. It is what's left unsaid in that article that is most telling. Ellen DeGeneres knows her career is over, yet Meghan still hasn't gotten the message. The report makes a point to focus on Portia de Rossi wanting to get back into acting, stating it quite explicitly, but it offers nothing about what Ellen DeGeneres plans to do when she returns to Hollywood. This omission indicates only one thing. She knows her career is over. She knows it is dead, and so she can simply live out the rest of her days as a multi-millionaire without a care in the world. Meanwhile, Meghan still hasn't received the memo and continues trying to force us to pay for her tripe, whatever it is, now for the Christmas holidays, with candles that are not really candles, but are just blocks of wax, tellingly without the wick needed to actually light them, and so on. So, in the end, it is good riddance to Ellen and Portia, two figures whose presence was so insignificant that their being in the UK was all but forgotten. With that, a shift in tone. It is time to have some fun, ladies. The official rankings as they stand right now are about to be revealed. This is the current state of the most hated celebrities in the world for 2025, though not yet the final results. But first, a jarring question. Have you ever truly examined the nutrition label on a normal bag of crisps? You will typically find a complete chemical cocktail, seed oils, MSG, and artificial dyes. Vague natural flavors mask a list of ingredients that reads more like a science experiment than a simple snack. And then we are left to wonder why we feel bloated, tired, and frankly, quite grim after consuming them. This is why there was such interest upon the discovery of masa. They are part of a growing real food movement, dedicated to bringing back the kind of food our grandparents ate before snacks became so corrupted, crafted in sterile laboratories. In a stunning departure, Masa's tortilla chips present themselves with a mere trio of ingredients: organic nixtamalized corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. That is the entirety of it. No seed oils, no mysterious chemicals, only authentic sustenance. And here lies the critical distinction. They not only eschew the refuse, but their flavor is reported to be nothing short of incredible. Consuming Mas chips is an experience entirely removed from that of ordinary snacking. With Masi, one feels a sense of satisfaction, of lightness and energy. There is no subsequent crash, no bloating, no dreadful, sluggish aftermath, for they are made from real food, which is inherently more satisfying. Thus, one avoids the mindless consumption of half a family-sized bag, only to be left with lingering hunger. And for devotees of Masa, a sister company, Vandy Crisps, awaits. Given the known passion for crisps, it must be noted that Vandy crafts the most delectable 3-ingredient potato chips. They deliver authentic flavor and a proper crunch, all without the contemptible list of garbage ingredients. So, for those prepared to experience Masa or Vandy, the code OUTSPOKEN will unlock a 25% discount on a first order at masachips.com or vandycrisps.com. For greater ease, one might simply click the link in the video description box below or scan the QR code on screen to seize this delicious offer. And for viewers within the United States, a major development. Masa and Vandy are now distributed nationwide, available at local Sprouts supermarkets. One is advised to stop by and procure a few bags before they inevitably vanish. But now, the drama resumes. Occupying the 20th position is Amber Heard. At number 19, the mogul Jay-Z. Number 18 is held by Mark Zuckerberg. At 17, another figure from across the pond, James Corden. At number 16, the controversial Woody Allen. Number 15 is claimed by Jake Paul. At 14, Hilaria Thomas, who is, of course, the wife of Alec Baldwin, a significant ascent for her. Number 13 is Chris Brown, who has long languished on such lists since the notorious incident with Rihanna. At 12, James Charles, an American internet personality, a name that surely resonates with the younger generation. Then, At number 11, the unpredictable Kanye West. A moment of shock. At number 10, the matriarch Kris Jenner. At 9, her daughter, Kim Kardashian. Number 8 is Chrissy Teigen, notably one of Meghan Markle's other closest confidantes, a connection that makes perfect sense in this context. At number 7, Bill Cosby. It is a stunning revelation that Prince Harry is deemed less popular, more hated than Bill Cosby. The Duke of Sussex himself appears at number 6. At number 5, Oprah Winfrey, who, it is observed, is yet another casualty. She is another who fell victim to the siren call of Meghan Markle, her popularity unblemished before that fateful interview. Ellen DeGeneres is revealed at number 4, a slight drop in her public disgrace. Jada Pinkett Smith has scandalously risen to the 3rd position. Sean Combs claims the 2nd spot. But at this moment, the pinnacle of public contempt is occupied by one woman. It is Meghan. A gasp of vindication. There she is, on the list of most disliked celebrities, precisely where many believe she belongs. The question is posed, what is to be made of this damning list? Were there any shocks? A profound sense of satisfaction is expressed that Meghan remains enthroned at the very top, not out of malice, but from a deep-seated desire for her to be humbled. The hope is for her to finally comprehend that the world is indifferent to her endeavors. In the same vein as the pronouncement from the Talk TV personality who declared, "I don't care" for Katie Hopkins, the sentiment is echoed, there is no care for Meghan. She is perceived as dreadfully dull, utterly inauthentic, and consumed by a desperate thirst for fame. The fact that she could betray her own family and her privileged station within the royal family for a fleeting moment of celebrity, for this, she will never garner respect. So yes, let her remain at the apex of this list. May she reside there in perpetuity. The inquiry then turns to Steph. Is it foreseen that Ellen DeGeneres and Meghan Markle will forge an even stronger alliance? It has been a point of great interest to learn of Meghan's burgeoning friendship behind the scenes with the equally controversial Chrissy Teigen, and it presents a fascinating paradox. For Chrissy Teigen herself was cast out, revealed to be one of the internet's most vicious trolls and bullies, with Courtney Stodden disclosing how Teigen had urged her to end her own life. The question lingers, does Meghan not grasp that when one is profoundly disliked, surrounding oneself with even more reviled figures is unlikely to solve the problem? Or is this, perhaps, a desperate attempt to make herself feel superior by comparison? The opinion is put forth that they have, in fact, already aligned. The alliance between Meghan Markle and Ellen DeGeneres is not a future prospect, but a past and present reality. It was merely 2, perhaps 3 years ago, in the tumultuous aftermath of Megxit, that Meghan and Harry were indeed in attendance at Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi's vow renewal, an event officiated by none other than Kris Jenner. The connection has been made. The forces have already joined. When Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi return to California, it is expected they will simply resume their relationship where it was left. It is imagined that Meghan will be dispatching a torrent of gift baskets filled with her signature over-the-top offerings. It would come as no surprise if Ellen DeGeneres then flaunts these gifts across her social media platforms, proclaiming, "Oh, my good friend, the Duchess, look at her magnificent spread. Behold the flower arrangement, the garnishes. Look at this. Is this not so kind? Is this not so great?" And so on and so forth. Yes, but a genuine peril lurks within these associations, does it not? This is the truly fascinating aspect. Consider Oprah Winfrey, who most certainly would not have appeared in that top 10 list of the world's most disliked celebrities had she not entered Meghan's orbit and presided over that interview, an interview where Meghan was permitted to unleash a tirade of falsehoods about the British royal family. This included the ultimate fabrication that the British royal family were racists, an accusation that went utterly unchallenged. Oprah's fall from grace provides the ultimate cautionary tale, a stark warning to other celebrities as to why they should tread with extreme caution, and indeed, why so many now refuse to publicly associate with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, because a true professional risk is attached to doing so. And that is the crux of the issue with Meghan and Harry, or as they are sometimes called, Winge and Ginge. They have, in essence, dug their own grave. One can sit for days, writing books that expose family secrets, betraying one's kin, and fabricating tales of one's childhood, but in the shadows, people will be watching, and they will not be trusting. It is believed they failed to grasp that, while one may possess all the popularity and money in the world, trust is a currency they no longer hold. As for Oprah Winfrey, the disappointment in that interview was immense, for she offered no pushback whatsoever. She failed to ask probing questions, simply accepting every word Meghan uttered as gospel. That is not the conduct of a real journalist. There has always been a skepticism surrounding Oprah Winfrey, a sense that she is something of a fraud, promoting New Age ideologies that clash with traditional Christian beliefs. But overall, the prognosis is grim. The same fate will likely befall Chrissy Teigen if she continues her chummy association with Meghan. The public animosity toward Chrissy Teigen will only intensify, the secret counsel concluded. The conversation, an absolutely brilliant exchange of forbidden knowledge, was spearheaded by the formidable Based and Bougie. Her followers were urged to monitor her intelligence briefings across social media, particularly on TikTok, X, and YouTube, for her searing social commentary. And beside her, Steph the Alt Nerd, the orchestrator of the brilliant Political Nerds channel on YouTube. A deep reverence was expressed for both conspirators. Their alliance was a tremendous, invaluable honor, a pleasure as profound as it was strategic. And of course, the reveal of today's greatest Britain and Union jackass is but a moment away. First, however, the feedback from the audience on today's program. Adrian Smith writes, Tommy Robinson has been proven right time and time again, and he will be proven right once more. One should attend the Unite the Kingdom Carols event on the 13th of December if able. A sentiment that was met with approval, seen as a great idea. Flytime 6737 proposes, if the celebrities wish to counter Unite the Kingdom, let them stage a protest on the very same day and see who commands the larger crowd. An excellent and provocative idea, Michelangelo D. declares. Paloma Faith's career has hit the skids, so now she must attempt to make herself relevant again. She is talentless. Kath Lendon writes with sorrow, the South used to be my home. Now I sit here and weep. For all my grandchildren who live in the South, I am weary. So very weary, Alan Tate proclaimed. This country is going down the drain. We need real men in government, men with backbone. Tommy Robinson is one such man. And Middleton and Vry 6219 observes, Farage has not even issued a public statement about the BBC makeup situation, which suggests that this incident has caused him genuine trauma. And there was an outpouring of love for the day's superstar panel. Are they not amazing? Simply looking at that panel, at Basie and Steph the Alt Nerd, one thinks, perhaps there is hope. Perhaps there is hope for the United Kingdom. Perhaps there is hope for our media class, for they are such ascendant stars. The Yorkshire Patriot declared it the best panel I've seen on here, which is high praise indeed, as the show has featured many amazing panels. A reminder now of the nominees for today's Union Jackass. Rachel Reeves, nominated by a viewer called Blame Game, who asks, why can't this government be honest about anything? James O'Brien, nominated by Cass Quinn for emerging to defend the Chancellor on his miserable LBC show. He truly is seen as a comical ally, a modern version of the former Iraqi propaganda chief. And Tulip Siddiq, nominated by It's Only Me 4-4, the MP who was handed a jail sentence in Bangladesh after a trial in her absence. How can this person possibly remain a member of Parliament? And the supreme irony, of course, is that she was previously the anti-corruption minister. The results have been tallied. She has secured 13% of the vote. The runner-up is James O'Brien, with 33%. But today's Union Jackass is the worst Briton in the world today. Will she soon be a jailbird? It is Rachel Reeves, facing the specter of a prison sentence for her perceived fraud against the British population. And today's greatest Briton is Richard Hughes, nominated by Real M. Cass, who points to the former OBR boss, because despite the IT error that led to the budget leak, he deserves credit for making the rare decision to oust our despicable Chancellor. To then learn he has been forced out of his own job because of it reveals a dangerous mix of evils within this Labour government. Thank you for watching Dan Wooten, Outspoken. Viewers are urged to click on the face at the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new, independent news source and to activate the notification bell so they may be alerted to brand new live shows, uncensored interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available for consumption as a podcast.